I've made over 7 figures online in my business, and my very first digital product did a little over 900K. And in this video, I'm going to give you my free way to market digital products step by step without any ads. And it works if you work it. Look, most creators think that they have a product problem, but they don't. They have a traffic problem, and it's only going to take me about 5 minutes to break this down. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then you may just end up being one of those creators that is constantly trying to market and make content, and they're actually great at what they do, but nobody knows that they exist. And once somebody actually knows that you exist, then it'll be fairly easy for you to sell your product. So look, what you need to understand is that you really don't need to focus on any other traffic source outside of YouTube, because YouTube is the best traffic source. Now, if you want predictable, long-term free traffic, then YouTube is king. Why? Because for one, it's the biggest streaming platform, period. It's bigger than Netflix, it's bigger than Hulu, it's bigger than Amazon Prime, all of them combined. And that's one of the reasons why Netflix actually partnered with our iHeartMedia to take all of their podcasts and take them off of YouTube to put them on Netflix, because Netflix is trying to compete with YouTube because YouTube's the biggest. Secondly, YouTube is the second biggest search engine, period. Google owns YouTube. You type stuff into that search bar on YouTube quite frequently, don't you? And YouTube is the only evergreen platform. So think about this. Social media platforms, the content is pretty much here today, gone tomorrow. Well, really, here today, gone today for most people. But YouTube is the only evergreen platform that is meant for long-term viewership over time. So even if you just think about your favorite creators whose content that you watch, if you were to go to their YouTube channel and categorize it from most popular to least popular, you'll see that their most popular videos, most typically, there's always an exception to the rule, but most typically are things that they posted years ago. And you'll see that they're still consistently getting views on an hourly basis. The first ever video that was ever posted on YouTube still gets thousands of views per hour. No other platform has that long-term evergreen compounding effect like YouTube does. And like I said, it's stable. So not only for a contentpreneur that is looking to monetize that traffic with some type of offer or digital product, but just on the content creator side also. YouTube has been paying their creators for 20 years now through AdSense. So getting paid from your content through AdSense, that's not a business strategy, but it is a nice little cherry on top, right? And then it's not dependent on trends like a TikTok or like an Instagram or like any other social media platform. It's not dependent on trends because it's the only evergreen long-term platform. So usually what's trending today isn't going to be trending 6 months from now when people are going to be watching that video from 6 months ago. And like I said, it has this compounding effect, the only platform that compounds over time. So once you actually have something that compounds, you build what is actually true leverage. So what a lot of people in the digital marketing space are trying to do is just pay for attention through paid advertising. But with paid ads, you have to have constant creative exhaustion plus high cost. The cost of advertising is through the roof. And for my small YouTube channel, I would have to spend on an average month between $25,000 and $40,000 for the same amount of impressions that I would have to pay in advertising for. I have some experience with paid ads. The most amount of ads, the most money that I've spent on ads in a single month, years past, was a little over $100,000. For the same amount of impressions, I get them for free off of YouTube, and I don't even have the biggest YouTube channel yet. And actually, I don't get them for free. I get paid from YouTube, like I said, because here, I get paid that little bonus, that little cherry on top of AdSense. So with YouTube, you have content that works long-term, plus you get paid twice. So you get paid from YouTube AdSense to build your income, impact, and influence, instead of you having to pay for advertising to try to build your income, impact, and influence. And you get paid on the back end by having an offer attached to that traffic through your products, through your offers, through your communities. So you need to look at YouTube as a true digital asset, because YouTube is not an expense. It's a true asset. Not only do you have these digital assets, or what I like to call digital real estate, this catalog of content that you're building that's paying you over time. All that catalog of content that you have is building another asset of whatever your product is that you have to offer to the marketplace. So start looking at YouTube instead of like content. Start thinking like a contentpreneur and start seeing it like the true digital asset that it is. So I formed up this system, and system is an acronym. System stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money, S.Y.S.T.E.M, around YouTube, to where you can get the right eyeballs, the right traffic, and sales coming in on autopilot on a daily basis. And I call it the YouTube system. So this YouTube system, I crafted it after the solar system, because when I was really sitting down thinking about how I can make YouTube work for me and really take it seriously and go all in on my YouTube, because I left social media behind in 2023. At the time I had over 120 something thousand Instagram followers and like 14 or 15,000 TikTok followers. Left it cold turkey, deleted everything off my page, left it, burned the ships, went all in on YouTube. But I was thinking I need to create a system, because I think in systems. So I was like, what could I create that the system will be working for me every single day, so I could get my time back and I could actually make more while working less. So I crafted it after the original system of the universe, which is the solar system. So if you think about the solar system, or any solar system, it has a star that everything orbits around. Our solar system is the sun. So your sun is going to be your niche. So for me, for instance, I'm just using myself as an example. My niche here is going to be online business powered by YouTube, right? This is my niche, and everything that I do goes around my niche. And then if you think about the solar system, what orbits around the sun? You have your planets. So I highly suggest that you have at least, or not at least, no more than 5 or 6 actual content buckets, and these are going to be our planets. So if I use myself as an example, since I talk about online business powered by YouTube with the digital products, courses, communities, ebooks, and whatnot, monetizing your intellectual property, your IP. Well, my planets, for example, would be something like branding, sales, mindset, systems, marketing. So any type of video that I make, they're all going to be orbiting around my niche, and I will be able to literally come up with endless content ideas. That's most creators' problem, is that they hear this general advice of niche down, and then they're like, oh, well, I don't want to get stuck talking about one thing. I don't only want to talk about this one thing. No, I talk about so many things that I want to talk about. I talk about things that I actually love and things that I'm passionate about, but I'm able to craft them around what it is that my business is rooted in, right? So once you have your planets or your content buckets, the things that you are going to talk about that orbit your niche, what orbits planets in a solar system? You have your moons. Well, here, our moons, we're going to have 5 types of moons, and these are going to be the types of content that we make. So you have 5 types of moons. So you have moons that, or types of videos that answer specific questions, that trend surf, that teach specific skills, telling stories, and influencer surfing. So the types of content that you make, and there's only 5 that you need to focus on. They're answering specific questions, emphasis on specific. The specific stuff gets the click, and specific digital product sales. So you're answering specific questions, teaching specific skills, trend surfing, influencer surfing, or telling stories. And stories is a big one, because stories are what actually connect with people and build trust. because we're currently in the trust economy and people buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. And a good story about a problem that you overcame in your life, or a problem that you already know your audience is going through, and you can tell your story about how you overcame that, or how you may be going through the storm right now. That is what is going to build that trust and connect people throughout the screen. And something that I've really noticed, especially since the pandemic, people, they're looking for people to connect to. And a rule of thumb that I have in business also is that I don't only want to connect with people through the screen. I want to actually connect to people through communication, because I truly feel the more analog you can stay in a digital world, it's going to set you apart in the marketplace. The more that people are just trying to just stay 100% online and make this ever elusive passive income and stuff like that, right? But this is the YouTube system here. So, and let me say this also. When you're having your niche here, right, your son, don't just pick a niche. What you want to do is solve a specific problem within that niche. And then you want to brand yourself around it. So a lot of people, they'll just pick a niche, and the three biggest niches, or the three biggest money-making niches, for the most part, everything pretty much falls under these buckets, are health, wealth, and relationships. So people, they'll pick one of those and they'll say, well, my niche is relationships. But relationships are so broad. But if your problem that you're solving is that you are going to be a pickup artist for young introverted men, well, now that's an actual problem that you solve. And the gravitational pull of your YouTube system would attract the right person. Because the person that is a young, introverted, shy man that can't get a date, the content that he's going to be watching about relationships is going to be totally different from somebody that's 45 years old and recently divorced. But somebody else would just make relationship content, and they're like, oh, I can help everybody with relationships. And then they wonder why they can't be seen. And then if you're not being seen, then nobody's going to buy your offers and your digital products. Most people have a traffic issue. They don't have an offer issue. So the thing that I said here about the gravitational pull of things and why this works is because once somebody discovers you, remember, know, like, and trust factor. So the know, they have to discover you. They have to know who you are, right? They get pulled into your ecosystem or your solar system. And then, since every single video that you make pretty much goes with or coincides or goes hand in hand with every other video that you're making this catalog with on your YouTube channel, well, then they just stay in your solar system. Then they stay in your solar system, stay in your solar system. And then you get what I call the binge and buy effect that happens. They start to watch video after video after video after video, and then at some point, they're going to buy. And I kind of have a theory on the solar system also that kind of goes hand in hand with this, because I'm not sure if the sun is expanding or the gravitational pull of the sun is pulling us closer to it. But this kind of goes hand in hand with this. Because like I said, if you make your niche around your problem, either you're going to expand in your audience size and your influence and your impact is going to expand, and kind of at the same time, the gravitational pull of your core is going to be pulling your audience closer. And at some point, they're going to hit each other, right? That's when you make the money. So look, outside of that, there's basically three parts to have this YouTube system working for you on autopilot and having sales coming in on autopilot. So step one, of course, is traffic. Like I said, most creators have a traffic problem, not actually a product problem. They're actually good at what they do, but nobody knows that they exist. So As I already stated, you pick a niche, but not only pick a niche, isolate a problem within that niche. And then on YouTube, you're going to post a minimum of 1 to 3 times per week. You can do more. I've realized that YouTube is not a frequency platform. And when I say that, I'm not saying that it doesn't reward frequency. I'm saying that it rewards consistency more so than frequency. A lot of times YouTube is actually a less is more type platform, but so many people want to just put out so much quality on YouTube and do less, but they have not put in enough quantity to even realize what is quality for them. So a lot of times it takes quantity to figure out and discover what quality is for you. And then you can make a decision on if you want to ramp things up and just do a higher quantity of quality, or if you just want to focus in on producing less quality. But I'll say a minimum of 1 to 3 times per week. And if you want to do more, it's not to get more views, it would be to learn faster. And then as you're posting these videos and building this catalog and building your YouTube solar system, model what's working. You're going to get signs. These numbers that we're seeing on the screen, most people are just out here viewing them as numbers instead of seeing them as actual data points and looking at them as the market's voice, because they're literally telling you what they want and what they don't want. A click-through rate on a video is telling you if people are interested in watching that video or if they're not interested in watching that video. Your average view duration, that's saying if it's a good video or if it's not a good video. If they're clicking off, it's clearly not a good video. These data points are telling you something. On your Google Analytics on each video, you can see the retention rate. You can see where you have spikes, where you have dips, where people are clicking off. This is the market literally telling you what they don't like and what they do like. And then improve each upload. Something that I've seen time and time again from so many creators are that they're just consistently doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And then they think that they're being consistent and they give themselves a little pat on the back and like, hey, I'm being so consistent. Well, if you're not intentionally looking to improve every single time that you put in an action point, then you're just consistently doing the wrong thing. You want to consistently be intentionally improving over time also. We're not just posting these videos just to post these videos. Now, step 2 is going to be ownership. And this is the key to everything. So we don't want to build on rented land. We don't own YouTube. Even though YouTube is the best platform, we don't own it. So anything social media wise, even though I don't consider YouTube to be social media at all, it doesn't work like other social media, but everything, all these platforms is rented land. So you want to drive the traffic to an asset that you own. So for a lot of creators, that may be a freebie. And the reason that you will give out a freebie would be to build your email list. So in your videos, if you're giving out a freebie, I highly recommend that you mention your freebie maybe 2 to 3 times per video, right? And you want to mention that freebie early in the video, because when you're posting these YouTube videos, when you look in your analytics per video, you'll see that a large percentage of people click off within the first 30 to 45 seconds, especially the first couple minutes of a video. If you have something free to give to them, why not go ahead and mention that early in the video so the vast majority of people that are on that YouTube video at least know about the freebie that you're giving away. But the thing about these freebies is that you want to make them good and something of true value. So many people have came to me and they're like, hey, I'm building this email list. I gave away these freebies, but I'm not getting any sales. Because the way that you monetize an email list through a freebie is by not only capturing the emails, but sending out automated nurture emails. And then you want to include your call to action to buy whatever it is that you have to offer within those emails. And they're like, hey, I'm not getting any sales. I'm like, okay, Or was your freebie good? Oh no, I just made something on AI real quick. ChatGPT gave me a list. That's my freebie. I'm like, okay. Well, if people get your free stuff and they see that it sucks, then why would they want to buy something from you? You just gave them a sample of some trash. My rule of thumb, if I ever give out anything for free, then I want to be sure that if I sold it, I could make a profit from it. And I'm not the biggest fan of giving out freebies because I give out so much quality content. I treat my content like a freebie, but I treat my free content on YouTube the same way as if I was giving away a freebie to build my email list. I will not make a YouTube video if I don't make a YouTube video if it's not something that I know that I could package up and sell for a profit. I know for a fact this video alone, this could have been a webinar that I charge $250 for, and I could have this webinar be a 45-minute to an hour and a half webinar that has a Q&A session that comes with it. I know for a fact I could sell it for $300 like hotcakes, if not more, right? But I had that mentality. I want my free stuff to be better than other people's paid stuff. And I literally get those comments on my YouTube channel on a very consistent basis. Like, if not every day, at least every couple to few days. Oh, this is better than the $500 course I paid for. Oh man, I paid a high ticket alert more on this one YouTube video. So if you want your emails to convert to sales, make sure that you're giving something of quality. And always think that I want my free stuff to be better than other people's paid stuff. Or you can drive this traffic to something like a community, right? Whether that be a free community or a paid community, but this will be an ecosystem where you could have direct communication with the people that have chosen to tap in with you on a deeper level. Or you could just make a call to action directly to whatever your offer is. But the name of the game is owning the customer data. You want to drive the data from your YouTube system to whatever it is that you own so you can have deeper communication with people that want to tap in with you on a deeper level. And then always remember this: value over money, which is the third step in getting these sales coming in on autopilot. And this is how you actually do make the money. Nothing works without true added value. And if you just think about what money is anyways, all that money is simply just a symbol that value has been exchanged. Most people want to make money, but they don't even know what money is. And that's all that money is. Think about it. Every single dollar that you spend, you exchange it for something that has perceived value to you. So if you're not thinking of value first, then you're not going to make any money. Most people, they have it backwards. They're thinking of all these ways that they can make money and they can make passive income instead of thinking of how they can truly help someone, of how they can truly add value to someone, of how they can truly solve a problem that somebody else is going through in their life. And that's why somebody will exchange their money with you, because the only digital products that are selling are solutions. Information doesn't sell. Everything is readily available. Everything's Googleable, YouTubeable, ChatGPTable, all the AI-ables, but results aren't. So people don't just want information, they want transformation. So put the people first. Think about the people, and also think about ways that you can use money, even your own money, to help the people, instead of thinking of how you can use people to make some money. Put the people first, put the value first. The money is a byproduct of that. So another thing in building this YouTube system, build your audience while you build the product. So many creators have it backwards, and they're trying to build the audience, and then once they have a whole bunch of subscribers, then I'll sell something to them. No, you don't want to do that. You want to think like a contentpreneur, right? So instead of thinking, what digital product should I create? Ask your audience. These people that you may be driving to your email list or to a community, or even in your community tab. Ask them, hey, what do you want? You'll be shocked that they actually tell you what they want from you. And then you can create it for them, or you can create it with them. So here's how this will work. If you're growing an email list, let's say that you grow your email list to 100 or 200 subscribers, email subscribers. You could send them out a survey. You could use, like I already mentioned, your community tab on your YouTube. Your community tab, for the most part, it's only going to show it to people that have chosen to subscribe to your channel. Right? Just think about the community tab that you've seen. You don't really see random community tabs, do you? You could get on Zoom calls, which is what I love. The amount of Zoom calls that I've been on to make my offers better. And I'm like, why don't more people do this? Like, that's why I said earlier in the video, the more analog that you can stay in a digital world, it will set yourself apart from the competition, because you won't be trying to think, I think people need this. You would actually know, because you're constantly staying in feedback loops with the market. And then here, while you're in these feedback loops with the market, you can identify their painful problems, and then you build solutions with that. So even using my community as an example, it's crowded at the top. The resources that I create for them that gets them results, I know what to make because they tell me what they need. I have Q&A calls every single week. From their questions, I'm hearing what it is they actually need, and then they just flat out ask me and tell me what they need. I'm in there on a day-to-day basis outside of our weekly designated face-to-face Q&A calls. I'm in there on a daily basis, hearing what they're going through, seeing the problems that they have. They're telling me what they need. Then I can go and create it, but I'm not thinking, oh, what do these people need? They're literally telling me. I've done the same things in the past with different digital products that I've had. So you solve painful problems, and the more painful the problem, the faster it sells. Pain is the number one motivating factor to make people move. And most creators out there, they're trying to draw people towards their pleasure instead of leading them away from their pain. So this is just human psychology. We will be way more willing to trust a stranger that is going to help us get away from our pain than to trust a stranger that's going to lead us to something that's supposed to be so pleasurable. That's just how we're wired as humans. So if you can tap in on pain points and basically just like take this pencil and jab it in there and just twist it, people, they'll take your offer because they want that solution. They want to alleviate that pain. And then this is the biggest right here. And this is the biggest way, the biggest mind block that people have that is really blocking their success online and blocking the life-changing money and revenue and profits that they can make in their business is this. They think that they need to be exceptional. You do not need to be exceptional. You just need to be at least one step ahead of whoever it is that you're helping, of whoever it is that you're guiding, of whoever it is that you're truly adding value to. Most people think that they have to be this exceptional expert, but they don't realize that everything is perception online. So the reason why you perceive certain people to be experts is because they publicly teach online and they show up consistently. So people don't teach because they're experts. People become experts because they teach. Think about that. The only reason you view anybody on the internet to be an expert at whatever it is that they talk about is because you have seen them publicly show up over and over and over and over again, consistently teaching and talking about whatever it is that they know. Therefore, they're the expert. A lot of creators don't feel comfortable in their expertise because they have not consistently shown up. And the only thing that's separating them from the super duper high Mensa guru expert that they think that they need to be is that they've just shown up consistently over time for a longer time on YouTube than they have. That's the only separator. But once you get started and you consistently start showing up for people and you build this YouTube solar system for yourself, you'll see in a short amount of time, you'll start to get those sales coming in on autopilot, just like all them that you see on the screen right now. And if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But this works if you work it, but it all starts with you making the decision to make it work. And go ahead and check out this video right here for 3 digital products that will always sell with this system, no matter what the market's doing, no matter what's trending, and no matter what the algorithm's doing. It's Credit at the Top.